Hey guys, this is Connor O'Flynn. I thought I'd share a video just further the blog post I put out today about a recent back injury that I'm just still kind of recovering from, but I've made a really good recovery. And I thought I would share just part of the technique that I used to kind of get myself back to action relatively quickly. So I hurt my low back. I couldn't bend over, could barely stand up, excruciating pain. Squatting was not realistic for me at all. So one of the baby steps that I took right off the bat after I'd curbed some of the pain with some specific lying in specific positions and working on my breathing is to do quadruped rocking or quadruped squatting. So what you do for quadruped squatting is you get on hands and knees, hands beneath shoulders, knees beneath the hips. Stay into your big toe, so keep your big toe planted on the ground just like you would with a squat, so you're not on the top of your foot. Once you get into that position, assume a perfectly straight back, which should not be painful, I imagine, for most people. And from that position, you rock back and forth, and your back stays perfectly stationary, or your spinal angle stays pretty much the same the entire time. So if you do that properly, nothing in the spine is changing position. The tissues around the spine are changing position. There's also a really good diagnostic to figure out how deep someone should be squatting, because if they can't get deep into the squat position on hands and knees, then they shouldn't be squatting deeper than that with a bar on their back, because what it means is that the hip socket itself does not probably have the mobility to get them there. On hands and knees we have a lot more stability than when we're just standing on our feet doing squats. So if you can get to a hip position on hands and knees with quadruped squatting, you should try to aim to get to that same position with your squatting and your workouts. So what does it look like? When I get onto my hands and knees, you can tell I still have a little bit of curvature in my spine, but it's pretty neutral. My upper back is rounded a little bit, as it should be. My neck is in a perfectly neutral position, and I have my toes down on the ground. And now from this position, what I'm going to do is rock forward a little bit. So as you can see, my hip is a little bit above my knee. So this is kind of like an above parallel squatting position. Now as I sit back, I'm going to fight my back changing position. So my spine is not going to change position at all. And if I can get my hip past my knee without my lower back changing position, I know I can squat to this position. If I'm in a lot of back pain like I was earlier, I might just get my core active and practice moving back and forth like this. Because what it'll do is it'll get those tissues around the low back moving, get blood flow to the area, get pooled fluids away from the area, but you're not actually straining any of the muscles in the low back, you're just supporting them better. So give it a try, whether you're squatting right now or not, or when you want to know how deep you should be squatting, the rock back or quadruped squatting is a good place to start.